Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're using this year's Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover campaign headlining unit in the Universe Tree Power Goku. We are still using units out against Supreme Magnificent Battle Beast Gohan. Say what you like, maybe at this point he is a little bit on the older side. However, I still stick to what I say. I do believe, especially Janemba more so than Gogeta, while they are probably the most difficult fights in the game right now, at least more so for Global, with JP having the Goku and Frieza fight, which hopefully Global should be getting soon, with it looking like we should be getting LR Jiren any day now. So that should hopefully bring the final two stages we're missing from the Universe Survival Saga Supreme Magnificent Battle along with him, fingers crossed. Then we can start trying out units against them. I do still believe that Janemba, as I said, more so than Gogeta, is just a bit too gimmicky for my liking. Like, it doesn't have the standard kind of layout that we're used to with the more difficult fights in Dokkan. And I don't mean in terms of longer or short, it's just he has a ton of gimmicky abilities, essentially, with how much extra attack he gets by being hit in the turn, then 50% more from strength units. And don't get me wrong, he naturally just hits hard on a super attack anyway. Then getting all that extra attack he gets, there is hardly any units in the game that are safe when facing Janemba. Like, I've done runs against him with units. It's doable, but you're relying on far more RNG. I know this is an RNG based game, but far more RNG in his fight than I think any other fight currently in the game. Aside from, say, Bulma, but then she's another one who, in my opinion, has the most gimmicks just because of the hoops you have to jump through to get to her final phase, which is why I've already said I'm never going to be testing units out against her because I don't see the point, because you just, as I said, you have to jump through so many hoops that doesn't actually test how good a unit is by the time, as I said, you get to her most, or what's most meant to be her strongest phase. So that's why I'm staying away from her completely. I haven't even beat her yet. Do you know what I mean? So she can stay in the corner where she is. You know, and while Janemba and Gogeta are less gimmicky than, say, she is queen of gimmicks, if you will. As I said, Janemba just doesn't really have, the same layout as standard fights do. Like, yes, he's on the shorter side. We're used to shorter content like Fusion Zamasu, but he does so much damage so quickly and can do even more. To the point, as I said, there's only a handful of units in the game, like, I mean a few units in the game, that you probably wouldn't have to worry about too much if he super attacked you at any point during the rotation. You might still take a ton of damage, but you survive. Whereas almost everyone else, almost all of the other units in the game, they're getting hit by a super attack and you're dying. Like, I'm seeing some of the best units in the game, or the best units in the game, still taking 700-800k, and that's one-shotting them. Like, that's all your HP. Now, let's take Universe Tree Power Goku, for example, who I have actually used against Janemba, and he does do very well because of him triple or quadruple supering. You know, you put him in slot 2, he's fine. Normals, no problem. Type of Edge does a ton of damage, help with his tanking, especially with damage reduction and guard. He does well. I think we're good here. I can't remember if Xeno Goku's made an appearance. If he hasn't, that's damage reduction. Okay, we're good. Like, he's fine. Because naturally running dual leads of him means we have a lot less HP. As you can see here, 585k HP in total. We know that with the heroes units, we've seen that, especially with a full team. It means no matter what, every unit on the team who is to be super attacked, you can run next to him. I'm missing like 2. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. If you don't get lucky with dodge, you are dead. And that goes for pretty much every single unit on the team to be super attacked. I said more so with Universe Tree Power Goku's team, just because, as I said, you have overall less HP, unfortunately. And that includes him. So while on normals, he's good. On a super attack, he takes 800k. And that's after triple, quadruple supering, with type advantage, with guard, with damage reduction. Now, as a heroes unit, there's only so far he can go by having less stats. And I think he done really well against Janemba, from what I've seen. Like, really, really well. But the same applies for, as I said, a lot of the better units in the game. No one is safe. Everyone is always in some amount of danger when facing Janemba, apart from, as I said, probably a few units in the game. And that's it. Kind of like how the original Cell Max event was back in the day. Like, only the best of the best were more than fine in there. Everyone else, flight risk. So, as I said, that's why I'm still using units out against Beast. Like, he still does very good damage on a super attack. You're looking at just over 2.5 mil. Consistently, no build-up will just do that flat damage. I think it's a bit more of a fair test. Like, I'm not saying don't use units against Janemba and Gogeta, but as I said, I'm waiting for the Goku and Frieza fight personally. But as I said, Goku did actually do fairly well in that fight. I will admit that. He did do fairly well, and I was actually quite impressed with how well he actually did against Janemba. But it was inevitable. As soon as he gets super attacked, bang, dead. But regardless, as I said, he did do well. I won't lie, he did do very well. And he is doing very, very well in this fight, in this build-up, even with type disadvantage. And at some stage, I will do a full heroes team, primarily out of the 5 new units we got this year. But a full heroes team against Dokkan video, type video, where we take him in against all the difficult content from Beast to, I might even try Janemba and Gogeta just for the sake of the video with the whole team. But we use a full heroes team against all of the difficult content and just see how well we can do, or just essentially see if we can beat all of the most difficult content with the new heroes units and the new Easy A's. But I definitely felt like Universe Tree Power Goku deserved his own video because he's just that good, and especially of how well he can run outside of the heroes and crossover team. I'm not saying the other units can't, like Demigra and Fu can, but Goku has a bit more versatility and better team builds. You know, you're looking at some of the best units and Easy A's in the game with revivals. Him himself, guard and damage reduction, very good active skill. Then you have, as a domain's revivals, which the domain benefits him, which is why I actually really enjoyed using him with Tech UI Goku. Like, it just worked very, very well. You can even bring Xeno Goku for the support. And that's another thing that actually works well, because all you need is one Xeno unit. However, that can also be his detriment. How much defense do we have right now? 377 with the support. With the active, we should go up to about 400k, because we do get an extra 30% defense. At least all attacks are now guaranteed to be crits. Yeah, 490, even more. And we're getting 11 key spheres, which means guaranteed guard and 40% damage reduction, which is good. No attacks going for Xeno Goku, which is also good. I need you to dodge. Perfect. But, as I was saying, when it comes to the Xeno unit, it's great that we only need to put one on a team, and Xeno Goku can compete. Unfortunately, against Janemba, not so much. Like, you need to protect him as much as possible. And that's kind of part and parcel of using support units. But because it's so relentless from the beginning, no matter what, as I said, no one's kind of safe. So it's even worse for a unit like Xeno Goku, who has no time to build up whatsoever. But then also, and this applies to any difficult content, but more so again, Janemba and Gogeta, needing 3 or more crossover units or one Xeno unit. Yes, the one Xeno unit is better, but the Xeno units aren't that great. And the ones that you can run with Goku outside of heroes and crossover, because then if you are running him on crossover or heroes, you can just use 3 of them. If you are using him outside of that team, which is, as I said, overall the team is better. It's a lot better to run him here. It's great. It's a lot of fun to do, especially with the domain. The typical Xeno unit you are going to bring is going to be Xeno Goku. And while he can compete, naturally bringing him, you have to bring him. So you have to shoehorn him onto the team. Trunks isn't going to cut it because you need time travelers or, was it crossover or heroes units to get his full attack and defense buff. But using Xeno Goku, I mean, you could use Xeno Jeets, but the same thing applies. Of, yes, he's supporting majority of the team, aside from here, SSB Vegeta and Gogeta Blue. Definitely popping that. While he does buff the majority of the team is great, you are shoehorned into having to bring the Xeno unit because you want, not only do you want the 70% chance of an additional super, but you want and you need the orb changing. Otherwise, as we already know, it makes it very inconsistent with his orb changing because you want to get those 5 or more key spheres so you can get his guaranteed guard. Like, it's a need, it's a must. So you are shoehorned into having to bring a Xeno unit, so overall it does kind of affect the team. However, to a degree, Xeno Goku is completable. He is runnable to a degree. Early on, he's very vulnerable. more so in the more difficult fights like Janemba, like Gogeta. Even the beginning here, but, you know, less so than there. And if you are purely floating him, there's only so much he's going to be able to stack, so it does make him a bit of a risk here. But also at the same time, by not going into Janemba or Gogeta, it does make him a bit more viable. I said, because every unit is in danger against them too, or more so Janemba anyway. So there is that. It is kind of a catch-22. It is a double-edged sword, where it's kind of like, okay, great, I can bring one Xeno unit, and also he supports Universe Tree Power Goku, and a lot of the other better Goku units that do go on this team. It does also mean you are shoehorned to bring him because you need the orb changing to get his guaranteed guard, which does mean you do have to bring a weaker unit overall for the team, which unfortunately, as much as I do like Easy A Xeno Goku, it is the case with him. As I said, as much as I like him. But I mean, overall, Universe Tree Power Goku's done very well here. And I mean, while it was the friend one, over 20 mil. I think this one's 90% or rainbowed. Over 20 mil on the super attack with the domain active. And the type of edge is a good play here as well. Normals, double digits, super attack. While I feel like we didn't get super attacked, while I do feel like he would take more damage here than say a normal Dokkan Fest, normal LR, Carnival LR, Yellow Coin LR, whichever. He wouldn't die. He might take a bit more damage, but he wouldn't die, and I don't think it would put you in a too much of a worrying spot health-wise, even with the less HP, if he was to be super attacked. Especially post. He's definitely taken hardly any damage there. As I said, it might be a bit more than Dokkan Fest and LRs. Pre, different story, because he's not getting any extra defense from attacking or on the SA effect, especially with how many he can do, triple, quadruple. But he's definitely runnable here. Definitely completable, definitely runnable, especially with that domain. And as I said, I reckon he deserves his own video. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As I said, I'm definitely going to do a heroes video taking him into all the difficult content, or the majority of it, to see how they all do with all the new units. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.